Welcome back to another episode of the Steebee Weebee Show. We have a very special guest tonight. Please welcome, for the first time on the podcast, rapper, producer, songwriter, Robust. What's up, player?
What's up, dude?
Oh, my God. It's been a minute. Our second G4 artist on here. Shout out to Mestizo. We got to give shout outs. Shout out to Mestizo.
Shout out to Mestizo.
Oh, let's go down the roster. Quell. Off-White.
Quell, Off-White.
Dennis and Kane.
Are we going to name all of them?
I kind of want to, just a few,
Let's
not
go.
all of them.
No,
Yeah,
we're going to go all the way. Dennis and Kane. We got
Quasar.
Anacron, Quasar.
I forgot about Anacron.
Murs did an album on Galapagos 4.
Oh, he did. Shout out to Murs.
It was called The Netherworlds
Yeah,
with
The Netherworlds.
himself. That's
Okay.
another guy that was on the
Who
label.
was the crew with one white guy and two black guys? Was there a crew like that?
One white guy, two black guys. I don't know.
Okay. Oh, Mediocre.
There's Mediocre. Yeah,
Mediocre, Maker.
Maker.
Okay. Quasar. We got to include Quasar.
We said Quasar.
Okay. Dennis. Okay.
We can't forget Hellsent. That's Quasar's cousin, Jimmy.
Okay, Hellsent.
Jimmy's probably the most solid guy in the whole crew.
Yeah.
Probably one of the coolest guys you ever meet.
I heard about you guys. I was living in Arizona. Fucking JJ, a.k.a. Mestizo, was like, oh, have you heard this? This is when the internet was like barely starting off.
Like Sandbox.
Yeah, well, he heard
and-
Squints on some website, and he goes, hey, this cat's Filipino. I go,
Asian
oh.
hip-hop
Yeah,
website.
yeah. And so JJ had brought first, I think, Quell, and then Off-White, and then I got introduced to y'all, and then I started peeping you guys' albums, and I'm like, dude, these guys. Go ahead, expand more on that as far as the label and who you guys are.
Well, I don't know. Expand on what? Like
The label, how you got involved with like who didn't Jeff start it?
Jeff did. Okay, so that's
Yeah.
I wasn't there when he started it. That's why I was kind of asking. Did you want to know where it started or where I started? But
Yeah.
So Jeff, he worked. He was like living in Seattle at a college. I think he got into underground hip hop in Chicago. Met Off-White, or I think they met in grade school. Actually,
Yeah,
I think he
yeah.
used to defend Off-White in grade school.
Shout out to Weezy.
Playground battles.
Shout out to Weezy.
No, shout out to Jeff for holding
Yeah,
it down.
Jeff,
You know,
yeah.
but shout out to Weezy too. Off-White. You know, Ryan Fernandez.
Yeah.
So we. So I guess he got like a temp job. You know, was just looking for a job in Seattle.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the whole story, but the temp job was a little company that sold books called Amazon.com. And
That's what's up,
And
yeah.
then this was like 96, 97.
Yeah.
And I guess Amazon popped off, and him and his friends, people were buying houses. He started a record label.
And y'all put out some good music.
And we did. We went around the world a few times.
Yeah, well, wait, let's go. Let's skip. Let's get started. Your first album, Potholes.
That was a little bit later. They were doing stuff already.
No, but that was your first release, wasn't it?
Yeah, so...
Potholes in Our Molecule. Like Potholes in Our Molecule.
So I'll let you in on a little secret.
Yeah,
okay?
go ahead.
Because there was things going on in Chicago, you know, before
Give them
some other guys.
Because
Chicago hip-hop.
Yeah.
I give you a shout-out. The late 90s, early 2000s era. One of the greatest hip-hop eras, hands down.
And then people are...
Not just Galapagos. It was
comments from there.
We got to give a shout out to the Moment.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that put me on.
So describe to the Moment. That's a talking point. Describe, because these people, they think that they might think they're super like.
No. So the Moment was back in you know how everybody produces now. Back in the day, everybody rapped.
Right.
Still everybody raps, but now everybody's a producer.
Yeah.
Back then, there was only like I know like 4 producers. The first producer I met, I was like, "Oh, you got to be my producer." And it was Panic from the moment. He worked at the record store. I was like 15. I'd give him tapes of me rapping in my basement, you know, just recording on turntables, instrumentals, all that shit.
What year was this?
This was probably like in 96, 97. I was a kid. I was like sneaking, like I would get kicked out of school, and my school was right next to the train. Took me right down to the record store.
Yeah.
And that was the hangout, and that's where I met a guy, Andre Vasquez. His name was Optimus Prime at the time.
Oh, but, right. Producer?
No, he was a rapper, but he put out little tapes.
And that was his name, Optimus Prime?
Yeah, and then he went as Prime, and then he became the alderman of my district that I lived in.
So yeah,
and the funniest part was we were first of all, we were called the Scam Artists. I came up with the name.
That's like more of a graffiti crew name.
We were the Scam Artists, and then and it was me, Quell, the alderman.
So Quell was a writer before he even wrote rap?
This wasn't graffiti. This was
just
rapping.
Right.
But Quell was doing graffiti before I knew him.
Right.
But no, this was just a rap crew that it was like an all-star crew Prime was putting together. He was getting buzz. He was selling tapes, thousands of tapes out at the record store. Sorry for bumping.
No, you're good. You're good.
But he put this little crew together, and then the first time, I'd met him a bunch of times, and he was looking at me like, "Who's this little?" I was a little kid, man. I was probably 80 pounds, 85 pounds.
Yeah, when I first met you, you're a lot skinnier. And then you introduced me. You didn't even say Brian. You're like
Poppy Benny.
You said, "Hey," you dapped me up. You said, "Yo, I'm robust." Oh. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Because JJ.
Oh, we got out the van. I remember we were at Venice Beach.
Yeah,
you gave us shrooms. That's the first time I met you.
but this is back in the day. But I flew out to Chicago. Yeah, timestamp. I flew out to Chicago. And I went out there with Kip Killigan.
Oh, I met you that time.
Yeah, dude. I went out with Kip Killigan, the homie Morph.
But see, when I'm in Chicago mode, I don't know nobody. If I don't know you, you're just I look through you.
I went to your show, and I'm like, oh, these guys have their own venue. And you were the opening act. And I remember.
From the Hot House.
I don't know what the name of the
venue. It was the upstairs. The train
it was like
was
a
going
jazz
by.
kind of venue.
That place got shut down because... Then next week they had a Cuban jazz band play, and they were they were pro-communist or socialist or whatever, something like that. And then they shut the city of Chicago shut the.
So you remember that show though?
Now it's called Buddy Guys. It used to be called the Hot House. We had a monthly there. It was called
what it was.
Endangered Species.
Meaty was on the drums and shit.
One time we did Icy Hot Stunners performance. Me, Meaty, his roommate. Art Y ended up being my roommate.
Yo, shout out to Mediocre.
Slept
on producer. We love your beats, Meaty. Keep doing your thing.
But no, he's a well-known fucking great producer.
Great producer.
Slept on comedian.
Yeah.
The guy's one of the funniest guys I ever met in my life. He brought me out of multiple depressions just talking to him.
Yeah.
The guy just...
But he was on that sampling shit and the vinyl back then too. I remember going, I don't know where y'all lived.
But he used to when I used to see people chopping up drums, and chopping their samples.
Yeah.
And I grew up with the moment, they were just doing it on the MPC, so you didn't know what was going on in there.
Right.
But when I first saw it on a program, Acid 1.0.
He was on Logic or Acid back then.
He was on Acid 1.0.
Yeah.
But my friends that I knew, they had maybe piano, bass, drums,
yeah.
4 things. You look at Meaty, he had 200 just for the drums.
Yeah.
Just chopped up into tiny
you mean
pieces.
Different snares and
just
kicks?
Everything just going on.
Yeah.
But 200 different tracks just for that. And then the samples, man.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I go, I have no business doing production.
But he was on that shit. You know what? All right, Meaty, we gave you some love.
You
right
good?
There. Yeah, you good.
Maker's
Meaty.
pretty good too, but
Maker's dope too.
Everybody's good, man.
Yeah.
We had a good thing going. We had a solid squad.
Solid
squad. It was the NBA, the Bulls '95.
Oh yeah. I mean, how do y'all recruit?
But we weren't winning any championships.
No, but y'all were hometown. Y'all were the hometown.
We
heroes,
won those
dude.
championships. Yeah. We had man. It was weird because shit popped off. I remember. So how I got started.
Yeah.
I was doing, I was in that crew with Quell and the Alderman, the guy who became the Alderman. And mind you, that guy, when he went to go get elected, the guy he was going against sent postcards to all the constituents with his rap lyrics saying like crazy shit.
Oh, like against them?
Well, no, like his rap lyrics from back in the day.
Oh,
like saying misogynistic stuff. Like,
why did he do
would
that?
you want to vote? Well, he was like 16 doing rap tapes.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like,
that was just promotion.
It was in like the Blaze battle. It was
yeah,
on,
like,
HBO and shit. I don't know. But yeah, it was fucked up. But so Quell was in that crew. And then Quell said he quit rapping. He told me he quit rapping. I'm gonna go to the army. All this shit. His brother Mikey went to the army, and he was about to go. They both like enlisted, and I was like, man, I don't think you should do that, bro.
Quell's the one rapper everybody should know. I
was like,
Quell's my favorite.
You're pretty good.
Yeah, Quell's I love Quell shit.
Hey,
yeah.
Hey, you
Quell,
know what?
yeah, Quell's tight, dude.
Why
Shout out
so
to Quell.
bad?
No.
Quell's amazing.
Yeah, Quell's amazing.
But you know what's funny about Quell? I loved Quell when we were doing our shit, and man, like I still love Quell.
Yeah.
I don't mean like that. I'm
Where's
talking
he at
about
now,
listening to his music though. Back in the day, you had to really sit there and listen to it. And
philosophical,
but then I would play it for like my the street homies, and I'd be like, "Yo, y'all gotta check this," and they'd be like, the fuck are you making me listen to right now? No, they're just like, this shit sucks, man.
Well, they were ahead of his time, baby.
Well, they just, it was just abrasive to the ear. And that's cool when you want to hear it. It's like listening to punk rock or like death metal.
That's a good analogy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was like that. We'd be in Germany, and he would just throw beer bottles against the fucking wall. We'd get kicked out of the venue. Like he didn't give a shit.
So he's one of those prodigy, like y'all were.
But
like
me and him
prodigies.
were really tight though. So we used to go meet down at the Wrigley Building in Chicago. You could walk in, you could go down, and they had a little thing. We'd all meet up. Not Verbal Kent, Black Verbal. We had Pugsley, Prime.
Oh, Pugsley Adams.
Nacrobats.
Nacrobats, that's another crew, right?
Nacrobats. So Scam Artist was an offshoot of Nacrobats.
Okay, these are like we're talking about like the Warriors, like different cliques.
I mean, this is what was going on. Okay. This is what was going on.
Yeah. So they're known in the street like those are the Nacrobats. This is this crew.
Well, and everybody in Scam Artist was in Nacrobats except me. I never got put into Nacrobats.
Was there initiation type shit?
No, it wasn't like that. It was they never asked me, and then the moment they told me, they're like, you don't want to be in Nacrobats anyway.
They're kind of scientific too, right?
Yeah, they were like nerdy dudes. They were cool. But so that's how I got Prime was like, you know what? You should. He goes, you're kind of a weirdo. I was doing joke songs at the time. I was a kid. I was like doing songs about being homeless because my mom kicked me out, sleeping in the backyard, or wiping my ass with like the garbage in the front yard and shit. Like whatever. But I was like a little, and it was stupid, but it was like trying to make comedy of it. And that was my first rap song. It was over a Panic beat from the moment. He gave me my first instrumental.
Right.
Because I was bugging him for years. And I gave him a tape, and he was like, I'll work with you. And he was charging people for beats back then. I saw people people were coming over giving him $1,000 a beat.
Oh, for a beat?
And he was like, drive me to the grocery store and you're good. He was just trying to teach me, you know.
Right.
He'd go to the bathroom. I'd be scared, but I wanted to like touch the MPC because I'd never seen an MPC before.
But you know how to use it now, don't you?
Yeah. I learned that from shout out to another Chicago. You ever heard of the group Rubber Room?
Yeah, I have. Well, they
put out
vinyl.
Groups.
Yeah, they put out vinyl too.
Groups. They're one of their producers.
They're from Chicago?
Yeah,
Holy
they're from Chicago.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And their producers, they had two producers. One of them, Kevin, I saw he had the same MPC that I bought. Like I bought it for $100 off somebody, and I didn't know how to use it, but I wanted it.
Yeah.
And I ended up seeing him, and I go, "Hey man, I'll give you records. Teach me how to use this."
So you had
and he came over because I didn't have there's no manual, and he goes, "Man, I just saved you 10 years of making shitty beats." And
so what was the first thing that
shout out to Kevin.
Shout out to Kevin
from Rubber Room.
Yeah, that's what's up. What was the first
Mr. Echoes?
What was the first thing you remember him teaching you? Like how to you could loop on a button. You could loop something.
Well, I knew how to sample on it and
like
stuff.
Something like with this.
But what I wanted to do was I wanted to make my drums swing. I go, how do I make it go like this?
So this is basically like. Look how
I used to have this. I love this thing.
Yeah.
So, you can put batteries in it.
Yeah, you can put batteries in it, but this is kind of your like, the beginners sampling.
Not even, man.
But you can make jams on that.
Madlib makes beats on shit like this. You can you can plug a mic in here.
Yeah.
And you can. I used to bring this on tour.
With this machine?
To Europe, yeah.
So this is.
I used to bring that on tour to Europe, and I'd power it with batteries because they're electric.
And then
their electricity is not the same, so you couldn't plug it in.
And then they had the effects that are a little different than the 303.
No, I would plug one mic into here.
Oh, right here,
because plug that into the mixing board.
Right.
So I'd have a regular mic, and then I'd have a. I'd do like alien voices, whatever the fuck I want.
On this thing.
On that, just live.
So this is kind of like
you could put it on the BPMs that you want.
Yeah. That's why you can't do that on that.
And then I sold it when my grandma died.
Yeah, this is money. I have to give this back to him, but I made some. I still use this shit.
Man,
the 303 mostly though.
Let me buy it.
No, I'm not getting rid of it. I'm not getting rid of this stuff. That 303. This is like people don't realize because
you should just be recording. You should be using that on the podcast, bro. You can have one mic with just like
this is the one.
You can do echoes and shit.
Oh my god, this is
that
one.
Yeah, I brought this too one time. I like this one.
This one.
Yeah.
So you've used all the bosses.
But I just use them for the filters and the fun shit.
Yeah. But this is the one me and JJ used.
I never sequenced on those. I had this back in the day, bro.
So you remember that? Yeah.
The rolling joint.
Yeah. Me and JJ used that to do our demos in AZ. Yeah, and then you could put batteries in this bad boy too.
I had the older one. Mine didn't have a memory card. It just had like the internal drive.
Well, the thing with these samplers is like one bank will break, and I'll be like, I'll just put it on B. I'll go to C, and then until these are all dusted, and I'll be like, all right, D's the only one I could use.
So I use the MPC 60.
So what's the difference between something like this opposed to the MPC 60? Like these samplers.
The 60 came out in 1987.
Okay.
And
that's the one.
When you turn it on, it says MPC 1987.
Right.
And I got the original
the 60
software.
Right.
Because you can update the software, and he told me I could do all this shit, but I still use just the floppy disk and whatever it comes with. And you plug out from reality and you make a beat.
Yeah. And then how much sampling time do you have on those buttons?
I get for the whole machine, I get 23 seconds. And then
there's a certain sound quality to that, dusty. Right?
And then you get 23 seconds, but then the floppy disks, if you do the whole 23 seconds, you got to use 2 floppy disks, and say it's a pain. I've lost so many beats just because they're like the disc will damage, and then they're like.
I told you we're gonna nerd out on some music shit.
Anyway, so how I got on Galapagos.
Yeah. I'm sorry, dude.
It's all good.
Because I geek out. Yeah, I geek out on a lot of this stuff.
It's beautiful.
So
I met me and Quell were in the group, and then I told he was going to the army. I told him not to, and then he came back one day. He was like, "Yo, I did this album with these guys." And I'd never heard of the other 2 dudes, Quasar and Dennison.
How did they link up?
But actually, I met Quasar at some rap battle, Lyricist Lounge.
Oh, that was in the 90s.
In Milwaukee. And it was the day after Thanksgiving. And I got booed off stage. It was all gangsters in the crowd. Straight up.
Oh, you were participating?
I got in the battle, yeah. Oh. No, I got in the open mic, I think. I don't know if I was in the battle. Quasar was in the battle, and he just trashed everybody. He's like, you came here wearing your church clothes, because dudes were just came off of Thanksgiving dinner dressed up and shit.
So he stood out there.
He was killing it. And then, but I didn't see him for years after that. He was in the group Outer Limits with Jimmy.
Yeah, that was the group I was
and his brother.
Outer Limits is the one.
That's Jimmy.
Outer Limits. Yeah. That's the group.
Shout out to Silence, the producer.
Yeah. That's the group I couldn't think of. Yeah. So you linked up with him.
So, but I didn't link up with him. I just met him that night. And then I ran into him years
so you saw him at Lyricist Lounge, and then later you're like, oh, I remember
we were on the same label. But so Quasar was on the Typical Cats with Quell. And
dude, shout out to
that shit was fire.
Yo, that first Typical Cats.
I was like, oh, okay.
Reinventing the wheel,
but
all
he was
that shit.
But Quell was like, I did this little tape. It ain't nothing, da.
So they linked up just on some homie shit?
It was on Galapagos.
Yeah.
And I'd heard about them, but I was more into the moment. Like I was hanging out with all the graffiti writers. They had graffiti writers in their crew, but it was like two different scenes. Kinda. And Prime, the alderman, he was the one who kind of told me even before that Typical Cats was like, you should go talk to the Galapagos dudes. And I didn't take any mind to it. And then I saw Quell do that, and I was like, that's dope. Then he did an album, and
the Pawn Shop one?
The Pawn Shop.
Yeah, the Pawn Shop album.
And he was living with his folks in Uptown, and I was over there all the time smoking weed with him and his dad. His dad and my dad worked at the same submarine manufacturing
that's a trip.
in Connecticut.
That's a trip.
He was born in Connecticut
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. We were both born in Connecticut.
Oh my gosh. Shout out to Connecticut, baby.
Shout out to Connecticut. Peace,
East
Connecticut.
Coast, baby. Yeah.
New Haven. What's up? Best pizza in the whole fucking world. Hands down.
Let's give him a shout out. What's the spot called?
Man, there's a lot. There's a Parties. There's Frank Pepe's, the original.
Hey, write
there's
that
Sally's.
down. Write that down.
Everybody knows.
Wait. Slow it down. Get the second one called?
What?
The pizza joint.
Frank Pepe's.
Frank Pepe's, baby.
Yep.
Yeah.
Recipes, Barry Bamone.
All right, let's get to the point where, so you link up with them.
I thought you were drinking a Guinness.
No, this is a Rockstar energy drink. When did you get put on the label to record your first album?
So I went to the studio with Quell to record for his album because we were in the crew. He was trying to put me on.
Wait, in Typical?
No, onto the label.
Onto the label, yeah. So who was on that? Who was officially on the label? Because this is the conception. Like, this is the beginning of the shit.
Well, yeah. So, like, he was early on in there. There was a guy named Surf 400. They were doing DJ White Lightning. He started the label with Jeff.
Right.
Like, it wasn't just Jeff. It was DJ White Lightning, Jeff, I think, Off-White, and maybe one other person. I don't know.
Right.
But, so I went to the studio with Quell to do my verse. We were spitting the bars to his parents and shit. And we get to the studio and they take him to the side. They're like, we don't want your guy on the album.
You?
Because I was doing joke songs. And so they only knew me for the joke songs. And it was like some serious.
Yeah. But they didn't give you a chance to show.
Well, they didn't even. They're like da da da. And Quell came back. He goes, man, I told those motherfuckers, if you ain't on the album, I ain't on the album.
Oh,
wow. And so I went in and I did what I did. I think I did 2 songs that day. Maybe we did one. I don't know if we split it up, but then the next time I saw Jeff wasn't there when I recorded.
Yeah.
But the guy DJ White Lightning, his eyes lit up a little bit, and then Jeff came and approached me at a show, and he was like, yo, you want to do an album? And that's before Mestizo, I don't think had ever been. This was like 2000.
So you dropped
2001.
When did he dropped Lifelike Movie after you dropped yours, right?
We were working on it at the same time.
So because I remember that you guys both had albums.
I was working on mine I think before, but the main studio got shut down for like 9 months. Halfway through my first album.
You had a lot of songs on that first album.
So we were recording in 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
So that's what I was getting the buzz in the city. I didn't even have an album out, but everybody was like, oh shit,
he's about to drop.
He's doing this.
Yeah.
And I was like, and everybody was trying to latch on, and I hung out with, TFD. Shout out to TFD, old school.
Yeah.
Chapter 6. Everybody knows. So I was hanging out with those guys and then,
well, who's producing all the beats for that?
For Potholes?
Yeah, for Potholes.
It was a mix. It was Prolific, who's on Sage Francis's label.
Yeah.
Who fucking hates me. And
we don't have to get into all that. Yeah.
But it's fucking hilarious though.
Well, you want to tell the story?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
No, but me and Prolific got an album together. People like it.
Yeah.
It was cool. Prolific, man, we had some good times together. People move on in their lives. No big deal.
So how many joints do you have on that first Potholes?
Potholes, we had, I don't know, man. I put a bunch of instrumentals in there. Yeah. I put secret songs in the secret songs. Yeah,
you had like 20
because I never done an album. And they said that nobody told me what to do, so I was like,
how'd you come up with the concept, like Pothole? Like, how'd you come up with that concept? Potholes and.
Because I was just riding through potholes and my bike riding to work every day.
Oh, that's where you got the concept.
I was riding like an hour to work.
Yeah.
Like in the snow.
Damn.
And
So
there's potholes.
Yeah.
And people
Okay.
are like starting fight, and that's when nobody rode bikes. I feel like back in the day when I rode,
it's about bike riding. That's
no,
what you
it's
got.
not about bike riding. It's just about. I mean, you got. I have had cars too.
Yeah. I'm not saying you never had
You think I only own bikes over here? Fuck that.
Yeah. So that's interesting though. I didn't know that was like there was like
no, but it was more like,
pothole.
but it was kind of like it seeing like a building crumble. You know, like how it looked. You know how a brand new building it kind of looks like shit. It's
yeah.
Like, in California, I knew that because I was on the East Coast as a little kid. And then I saw California.
Yeah,
San Francisco was kind of older.
But that's
down
a cool
here,
concept, man,
shit's
for an
brand
album.
new. But like shit that's crumbling, it has like little moss growing
Yeah,
on it. You
yeah,
know, it's
yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, people want to be like, oh, we got to clean the yard. But nah, just let the weeds grow.
Right. So, like, what was the reception? Because that was a big feat. I mean, the writing process must have been a lot for your age. I mean, that was a full length. That was a full length album.
Yeah, I was thinking too hard about it. Plus, I had a lot of time because the studio shut down.
So you're writing at home, just writing in the bedroom, just trying to stack up your...
trying to find a place to live.
Oh,
but hopefully I have a bedroom.
So you were just...
I was moving
from couch to couch?
I was sleeping in like my ex-girl at the time, my girl at the time, her dad didn't want her to be near me, so he sent her to like some college way up on the North Shore of Chicago. Mm-hmm. And I'm fucking taking the train out there, riding my bike in the snow like an hour and a half, sleeping in the dorm, making everybody uncomfortable.
So you're struggling, like.
But also I had places too, like you know I had my good times, but at the end of the day, I didn't want to be tied down to anything, so I just couldn't like. I'm not like I'm gonna sign up for a 2-year.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm like, you know what? I'll give you some cash. Let me sleep in your laundry room.
Yeah, man. I'm just because I remember listening to me and my friend Danny Kim were listening to your first album because
you're taking me so serious.
No. I'm just saying, like, dude, it's this.
You're like, no, it's okay,
I remember
bro.
You skinnier, and I'm like, I saw you on the street,
I'm eating,
and I'm like, oh, he's buff now. Because I'm just saying, like, dude, I mean, you look
a man.
Yeah, you're a man.
You know how I do this? I do 10 push-ups a year, and I swim every day, even when it's cold out.
Yeah.
I try to swim.
Can I give you a memory? The second memory I have of
walrus.
You was y'all. I don't know if Quell was performing. Y'all had shows at the Knitting Factory up the street.
Yeah, the Knitting Factory. So I was at this liquor store buying this beer right now. This dude Dante, I saw him off. I was like, "Where's the liquor store?" He goes, "You don't want to know." And I'm like, "I'm already late."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'll walk you there." And he walked me there. He didn't want nothing. And we get to the spot, and it's this little like strip mall.
Yeah.
And I go, "Man, I've been here before." Like it hit me deja vu.
Yeah,
right
you
there.
were there, dude.
There was a record store in that little strip mall.
Yeah.
And we sold records in that strip mall. And it was
yeah.
across the street from like the Knitting Factory.
Yeah. But that's when I met you, and I remember that I was working a VHS. I was a library.
Shout out to Knitting Factory.
Yeah, dude.
Where you at?
They went out of business.
No, they're still in New
Well,
York,
no. But the one there is they turn it into a shoe store. Right by the CVS. But that's where I met you, and you're cool to me. You're like, hey, let's go to this room. And then I'm like, oh, fuck, I got to go for my shift. And I remember I had to miss half the show. I used to see a gang of shows.
Where were you working?
Right off the boulevard. I was a VHS. Like, I had to digitize, like, these VHS tapes to, like, fucking, from analog to fucking...
You were helping the old guys.
Yeah, and then
you were helping the old guys out.
Yeah.
Like I want to get my old porn.
Yeah, but I wanted to hang out with you guys because you guys were doing shows and like you guys had a gig up there, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta go.
I feel like you stress out about like you're like, I mean, I stressed out about trying to get here. Yeah. But like also I'm like I don't give a fuck. You know, like I saw Hollywood High and I was like, what would Cadillac Ron do? He'd show up like,
hey, shout out rest in peace, Caddy Ron, dude.
That's what I thought. I just walked past Hollywood High earlier today. And I thought, what would Cadillac Ron do?
Yeah, what was your first memory of Caddy? Like, rest in peace, like...
Well, we met doing a show together. And I think it was in Yuma, Arizona.
Yeah.
And he started performing a song during his set. Like, his set was cool. JJ was telling me about him.
Yeah. This is
I saw him battle.
Muerte,
and I saw him battle. He was hilarious.
Yeah.
And so... his beat comes on, and I go, shit, I'm about to perform with the same fucking beat.
Oh,
but it wasn't the same beat, but it was the same sample, and it was done exactly the same way. It was on a SP.
Oh,
it was his boys. Yeah, the Dead Bent dudes that he did. I forget what the name of the album was, but it was Blunt Boogie Records, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that was his label,
Yeah, and he performed that, and then he gets off stage. I was like, man, that was tight. I was like, I'm about to perform on the same beat. And he goes, go ahead. And then by the second show, we were performing the song together.
Holy smokes.
On both
that's
sets.
It, dude. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Was this in here?
We did like Yuma, San Diego, I think LA. We did Fresno.
Yeah, I mean, I got introduced to him.
Oh, you know who was driving up? Well, yeah, Mestizo was driving for the South, and then Open Mike Eagle took his car, and Cadillac Ron was in the back eating all his Trader Joe snacks, and Open Mike Eagle was getting so angry.
Dude, he blew up. He's well known now. Yeah,
he's from Chicago too.
You're right.
He's in Necrobats.
He's from Necrobats?
He's in Necrobats. He is Necrobats.
Shout out to Open Mike Eagle.
Shout out to Open Mike Eagle.
The swim team. Man. All them. Yeah.
I love Mike, man.
Yeah.
So also, we had a day off. We were supposed to do a show. It got canceled or JJ canceled it. I don't remember.
Yeah.
And we had a day off, and I had nowhere. I was the only guy not from California.
Yeah.
And I didn't have nowhere to go. And I rode back with Open Mike, and we were at his house. He lived, I think, in Inglewood at the time. And he's like, hey, dog, you know. He didn't even have to finish. But he didn't even have to.
Characters.
No, but he didn't even have to finish. You know, he's like, hey, dog, you know. And you know when somebody gives you that shoulder move, like, you got to get moving out of their crib and shit.
Real quick.
And I'm like, all right, man, so this, I thought we were getting a hotel tonight, like, on tour.
Yeah,
like, at least can we, you know. But so anyway, I hit up Cadillac. And we had just performed the song maybe one time together. Mm-hmm. But I kind of knew this guy. He was like, yeah, I'll be there in 20 minutes. Boom, pulls up, takes me around town. We go to a cannabis show. We watched cannabis fall on his face right in front of us. We were sitting on a couch, and they announced cannabis to run on stage. Swear to God. It was, I think, Shapeshifters were there too. And I was just in Cadillac's car. He was like on a date with some girl or something. But I was just like, I'm along for the ride. He said I could crash at his house as long as I stick with him. He's a solid dude.
He's a solid dude. Yeah.
Straight shooter.
Yeah, straight shooter.
Mm-hmm. And I think he like got in a super huge argument with his girl right in front of me as soon as he picked me up. His baby mama, not his girl, one of somebody's. And and he gets back in the car and he's like, sorry about that, man. and I was like, dude, I don't give a shit about your life, bro. I was like, I'm arguing with my girlfriend right now. And he's like, all right, man, you can hang out all night, bro. And so then he took me around. So Cannabis they announce him. He runs out and he trips on a step and falls on his face on the way to the stage, bro. And I was kind of pumped to see Cannabis, bro. Yeah. And then I was like, damn, man, like, it's like seeing Superman.
Like it makes you think he's human. Like, damn.
And then I walked out and smoked a cigarette. Shapeshifters had a great set, man. Those dudes they rocked good shows. Exit Stereo, that dude always shows me love.
Oh, dude, shout out to the Gibson brothers.
His brother too.
Bobby, Christian. Christian,
I know.
AWOL's been here. Like, how many Shapeshifters I have here?
I met his brother in Amsterdam.
That's what's up.
Because he was like, yo, my brother's in Amsterdam. And he told, shout out. I'm going to give a little quick shout out.
Yeah, dude.
Can I do this?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Shout out to Ain't Nobody Cool.
Let me see what's up with this. America's Most Wanted, Ain't Nobody Cool.
AintNobodyCool.com. Y'all know about it in L.A.
Ain't Nobody Cool. What strain is this of a... What's in here?
It's called America's Most Wanted.
Oh my God! Look at the packaging though. That's awesome.
But I don't know. That's my dude from Chicago, and he moved out here, started a clothing company.
You ever have experiences with circus?
He was JJ's tour manager on European tour. He went on
that's what's up
Euro tour with us one time.
What about circus? You ever have run-ins with circus?
I mean, I met him
because I'm trying to get him on here.
I never get circus on. I think I talked to him. me and him are kind of the same way. When we're around a crowd of people, like I saw him and it was just like, kind of like I'll talk to people, but like I don't want to. Like certain dumb conversations I can't have with you, and I'm just gonna make you feel uncomfortable, the way you're making me feel uncomfortable.
So he was a bit odd.
No, he was cool. No, like, he was like, it was just more like, all right, head nod. Yeah. But the dudes, we went on tour. The first tour I did out here, we were on tour with OMD. Two Mex
of Mexican descent.
Yeah.
That Zola
Zanzico.
Yeah, Zola Zanzico and Two Mex.
That dude was always.
Yo, shout out to Alex too.
Shout out to Alex. Yeah. Shout out to Two Mex. I don't think he remembers me. We were on tour.
Dude, you guys made him mark.
We were on tour with him. We did those guys. It was through some like shady guys that were like bootlegging my like first CD out here. Yeah. And people were sending me like it had their record label on it.
But it was your album?
And it was a CDR I was putting out, like printed out Kiko's. Were
they
like,
LA dudes?
Yeah. Well, they were like West Virginia dudes that lived in LA.
Oh, that's what's up. That sucks. So shame on you. I want to get into El Photo Grande.
El Photo Grande.
Yeah, dude. So what was the length of time in between Molecules and El Photo Grande?
Well, we did Stick Figures.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Shout out to Prolific.
Yeah, that was a dope album. I forgot about that. Stick Figures.
He just had a birthday. Yeah,
great album.
He was one of my like close buds.
Yeah,
and,
that was a good album.
He made really good beats. And
I forgot about that one.
He's a good writer, man. He really hits the heartstrings sometimes.
So that's 2012, maybe something like that.
Yeah, well, no, we did that in 2005.
Okay, when was El Photo Grande afterwards?
2006.
Yeah.
So I did that. I was coming out to visit my dad right before he moved out of Cali. My dad used to live out here, and I used to come out.
Give him a shout out, dude.
Shout out to Pops.
Yeah.
How you doing, Paul? Yeah. Or Dad? Sorry.
I hope he watches.
Timestamp.
I hope he watches.
Oh, my dad doesn't watch anything, man.
But El Photo
my dad
Grande,
should have
baby.
a podcast. That motherfucker's
sure. We'll
got
get him on here.
Stories,
we'll get him on here.
Oh man.
Yo, that was a dope album too. Shout out to Mike Gow.
Oh, Mike
for
Gow.
some of the production.
So Mike Gow, yeah, I met him. How we met that guy? I think JJ reeled him in. He was at a show, and he was
Prodigy.
He was a young guy, and JJ would talk to guys that come up to him, and I think he was playing them beats in the car. I heard some of his beats. I was like, they're cool. Yeah. I was just used to I was used to Chicago, like
Chicago
boom,
style.
Boom, that bouncy boom bap, whatever.
Yeah.
But Mike L, and then he surprised me. Like he started working with JJ. Yeah. But so that night we met him, he was like 16, I think. He was in high school.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Hey guys, you guys want to go to an after
party?
party?"
Can I play some of that song that he like?
He's like, "Do you want to go to an after party?"
And this is one of my favorite songs.
Okay, but
I've never done.
I gotta talk about my new album.
Okay. Wait, hold up. We'll do this because I love this song so much. We haven't done this.
Don't let a cease and desist come at you.
No, this is your stuff. Your stuff.
Mike might be mad.
Mike, please, hey, hold up.
I'm just joking.
No, let's give him a message. Mike, we're gonna give you credit. Come on, man. This is an interview. It's a podcast produced by Mike Gow. All right, here, dude. Let's just let.
You really playing that song right now? You ever played anybody else's songs? I was hold on, so I'ma reach each time. I spit a rhyme, it's like I'm cutting the piece, giving it away. Like the butter beats. Yo, but what if you're doing it for the love? Cause my love is deep. Doing it well. One verse though, we're cutting it off after one verse. Okay. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Man, that's
probably
that hits home, brother.
Yo, man,
I'm just saying that hits home.
I've written some bad songs.
Dude, that's a damn good song.
That's a good one.
Dude, that's
I've written some
that's
shitty fucking trash.
Yo, my intern was feeling that. Yeah, that's a good one. Can I tell you a story behind that? I was over at his apartment when Mike was going to USC. Me, JJ, I had a 40 ounce.
I went there.
Yeah, I was drinking a 40, and I didn't know you were on the beat. He played the instrumental. I'm like, hey, play that one again. I kept making him play that. And I'm like, hey, who's beat it? I kept asking about that beat. And then
really?
I heard it later.
You want to get on the remix?
No. It's your song. It's your fucking song, man. But I'm just saying, like.
You could sample it now.
No. I'm just saying, dude. That's like, can we, like, what inspired you, like, to write that? Like, did it just call to you, like, okay, you heard the beat?
That's because it's like, you're like an artist and you're not getting, I don't care about getting recognition or getting fame or nothing like that.
But a good song's a good song, dude. A good song is a good freaking
But
song.
that song is like, it's like from that perspective of like, why do you even do this? What is your purpose? Like most musicians, rap, especially in hip hop, it's so self-serving. Come listen to me. I'm gonna tell you how good I am.
Right,
I'm gonna unveil the wisdom.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Straight up. Like nobody wants to hear your fucking life advice. You got a 99 IQ. You fuck.
So that song's not that. This song's
this
from
song,
you could tell.
But it's just, this is like, what do you do it for? I just do it for me.
Yeah.
I do it for the love.
Right.
I love doing it. I wake up, I don't fucking, like, I can't write raps. I'm not sitting there, like, in the notepad all day long. Yeah. No, I go swimming. I go down water slides. I eat, like, hamburgers, and I enjoy my life.
Yeah.
And then, sometimes something hits you in the chest, pop it off.
Right.
That's it.
Yo, this is a great album, dude. This is a great the whole album.
So let's talk about the new shit.
Yeah.
The John Bovey.
Okay.
We got the John Bovey. Yeah. I asked him what size shirt he wears. I brought him a present. I'm going to give him this shirt when I leave.
Let's plug it. How can people best support that?
Best support it?
Is it on Bandcamp?
You can support me when I get enough ambition to start my own Patreon.
No, but where could they listen? Like, how could they best support the album?
You know what? I mean, it's been actually, it's crazy because we put it out a few months ago, and me and him, we didn't. Max Julian.
I love the
We gotta call in the producer. He wanted a little quick call in.
Yeah,
can we do that?
Yeah, let's do it. He said, did you want to promote? Yeah. If he's comfortable with it, he knows we're on a podcast, right?
He knows. No,
okay.
He said I'm a bitch if I don't.
Yeah. Because he produced. This is what's
this
his
is the
name?
producer, Max Julian.
Max Julian.
Buddy. We used to get locked in the broom closet at the same school district because if you got in trouble, they just locked you in a broom closet back in the day.
He produced the whole thing. He produced the whole album.
Yeah.
Okay. Put him on
John
call.
Bovey.
Yeah, John Bovey, baby.
Real quick.
Let's do it. I think he'll make his day. I think he'll like it. Yeah.
Let's see if he's ready. I told him I'm. Oh.
No, you're good. Yeah. No. This is from IKEA.
He's not gonna answer because he doesn't answer calls. This would probably be the only time he would.
Where's he at right now? What state?
He's in Chicago.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. He's So anyway, me and him we met at like a house party back in the day, and my neighbor was best friends with his cousin, so we just linked up, and we were the only guys from
Max
around
Julian.
that area
that
were into hip hop, and so we were like not hip hop, but like into like he knew Mo Man and shit. And I was like, so I got songs with those dudes. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So we ended up just meeting up, hanging out. We worked on stuff, and we don't take ourselves too seriously. He's the only guy, he sends me beats. I go, those beats suck. And then I'll send him a song. I'll be like, this shit is going to be rock your block off. And he's like, dude, this song sucks. Don't ever say those words on my beat ever again. And this is how we get to the music that we actually make. Right. Because nobody's like, oh, great job, dude.
yeah.
Fucking no, that's how you make shitty music.
So what gave you the idea? Is there a concept behind the album?
Okay, so this right here.
Who's the guy in the?
This right here, I don't know. The concept of the album is just us making songs that are not hard to listen to.
Right.
We don't want people to,
Is there an 80s theme? Because Bon Jovi, John Bovey.
Not really.
That's just.
I got the
name flip.
The John Bovey comes from when I was depressed. I used to look up shitty tattoos.
Yeah.
And it would just make me feel better, especially on a hangover.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh
write
man.
that down.
Oh, there's another one too.
How many tracks?
Have you looked up Asian restaurant reviews on Yelp? That shit will rock your fucking world. It's fucking, it's fucked up, bro. It's fucked up.
It's messed up.
But the tattoos makes me feel better.
Yeah.
The Asian restaurants makes me feel worse for humanity.
Yeah.
But the tattoos, there's a tattoo that says "It's IT''S is my life" in quotes, and then it says John Bovey, and I wanted to make the shirt that.
Dude, that's amazing.
But so then I showed Max that, and he goes, "Oh, that's the album title." And then the next album's gonna be called John Donson.
Dude, that's amazing. Yo,
how many tracks? Shout out to John Donson.
Don Johnson.
Shout out to Don Johnson.
Yeah, Miami
shout
Vice,
out to
baby.
John Donson.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
Yeah. How many
you.
tracks on John Bovey?
We got 10.
10 tracks. Spotify, Bandcamp. Where
it's on everything.
So Spotify, they just have to type in John Bovey.
Yeah, and then you're going to find Bon Jovi. It's going to get confusing.
Yeah,
but you know what? This is where you use your brain.
It's John
Hopefully you're above
Bovey.
a 99. And if you're not,
support it. Give it a thumbs up. What about merch or how could they support more?
I got T-shirts. Check me out. Hit me up on Instagram at Robust Chicago.
Robust Chicago.
At Robust Chicago. Yeah. And you'll see me diving in the lake. I do. Sometimes I do a winter jump or two, but
dude, that's amazing, John Bovey. You got hoodies or hats? Like, what's going on with that? You got more?
Oh, so I Googled a picture of John Bovey impersonators, and that became the album cover.
That's amazing. So that's an impersonator.
It's a John Bovey well, I don't know if it is an impersonator, but it came up in a Google search as an impersonator.
That's amazing, dude.
I
might want to get a tattoo of that. That's amazing.
People want to fucking take shit so seriously.
No,
man.
That's funny.
I was laying in a pool before I got here. That's why it took a little bit longer.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
And I was looking up, and I thought to myself, holy shit, man. I'm in a pool because my dad banged my mom. And I'm fucking here. And, like, straight up. Like, you know, they got drunk one night, and we're like, yo.
Let's do it.
What if they got in an argument? You'd have,
I know.
You'd have,
well, dude, you'd
have a little more sleep
Look at all the beautiful music you've put out.
Yeah, I've put out about 19 albums. I got 300 songs I haven't put out.
What? How come
not all
put
your
those
songs
out?
Because not all your songs are fucking good.
Yeah.
But also, if you don't, you know, I'm sure there's a couple good ones in there. But I just like doing it for me. And I went through some shit with my abuela. She passed away.
Oh, rest in peace.
4 years ago on 4th of July. This year, it'll be 4 years. She passed on the 4th. I closed my eyes on the 1st of July.
Yeah.
When she was kind of going down, and I saw fireworks, bro. I swear to God.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she's going out.
Were you there when she passed?
Nope. I was going there I was flying out once a week to go see her. And then I'd fly back to Chicago because I had to work. Mm-hmm. But I was going out for like 5 days at a time and then going back. And I knew I should have been there, man. But I don't think she would have. She would have tried to like live. Because I was her favorite. She was me and her were best friends. She was my like straight up. She tried to have me sneak her out the hospice. She's like, put me on the ground of the car. Yeah. Take me back to my house.
Yeah,
I'm like, nah, well, like. They're taking care of you here, you know.
Yes, that's what's up. Yeah,
she was my best friend, and it rocked me. I got trashed for like 4 years.
Oh, you went through a depression.
3 years. Oh yeah, I mean, I was doing a lot of fucked up shit. You know, I probably.
You're fine
I pissed
now.
off 99% of the people that I would encounter, but you know, shout out to the 1%ers that showed me love. Usually, it's like homeless people, gangbangers, or you know.
Yeah, that's what's up. I mean, but you're still. I'm just happy to see you're still creating music.
Yeah, man, I'm doing all right.
Yeah, man.
I got a nice place to live now. You know,
Are you still in Chicago?
I'm in Chicago.
Okay. Where is it? What?
You know I'm in Chicago.
Yeah. Where's Quell? Where's everybody else at?
Quell, I think he's in Indiana or something. He's been in Indiana for a while.
How many kids do you have now?
I don't know. He's got a band. All his kids play in his band. He's Joe Jackson and
dude, I love Quell.
Quell,
if you watch this, Quell.
Shout out to Quell.
Quell, please.
One of his kids is the manager of the band too.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Yo, Quell, please.
I think they did a show out here like
come here, Quell.
Ago.
All right, I think that man. Let's go get a cheeseburger, huh?
Let's go get a cheeseburger. I want to send a shout out to everybody.
Do your shout out. You do your shout outs. because I have to do some.
First of all, shout out to Steebee Weebee. Yeah, Thank you for having me on the show, dude. Man.
Come on.
And shout out to Galapagos.
Shout out to Mestizo.
Shout out to Mestizo. Shout out to Quell. Shout out to Max fucking Julian.
Yeah.
Max Julian, the
Max
god.
Julian.
Super producer.
Maker, mediocre.
They just played our album on the Rap Is Out of Control, DJ Eclipse.
Okay.
Sirius Radio, Shade 45, Papa. That's because of Max Julian. I never had nothing on there if it didn't have a Max beat on it. Max is that dude. So shout out to him. And, thanks for listening.
Yeah, man. Robust Chicago, Instagram.
At Robust Chicago, Instagram. Mm-hmm. I won't make you buy anything. I don't really have a marketing plan.
But still support anything robust. Type them into the searches. Listen to, even on YouTube. Check it out. Check it out.
Check it out. And if it's not your thing, no pressure.
Thanks for tuning in for another episode of the Steebee Weebee Show. Go to Scissorbro, youtube.com/scissorbros. Go to SteebeeWeebieBandcamp.com. Go to SteebeeWeebieShow.com. Definitely follow him on Instagram. Instagram.com/QUANGOU. Anyone on Galapagos, you're more than welcome. Family, you're
Galapagos
food. Casa. Meaty.
Shout out to Meaty. Shout out to
Douchebagalo. Dennis and Kane. Holler at me too, please. I would love to have Dennis.
Shout out to Riff Napalm.
Oh, I forgot
about Rifty.
Okay.
Shout out to Poor.
Yeah. And so, they're all welcome here. This is a perfect platform for y'all.
Get Poor on here. Poor's an amazing producer. He's from Chicago, moved to Maine. We had him and Max had a thing where they would play, one dude would play drums, one dude would play samples, and I would rap. Yeah. And then I would rap through that thing. So we had a whole set going.
Oh, okay.
But they were playing NPCs live. Poor lives out here. You should get him on.
Well, he's in L.A.?
Yeah, I think he's roommates with Exile.
Okay. Oh, Exile, Blue and Exile.
The producer.
Yeah.
I think he
so
is.
if you see this, please holler at me on Instagram, and holler at me, DM me, please. Dude, let's get some cheeseburgers.
Let's get a cheeseburger.
Okay. Dude, hey. My buddy Skip is a trip, feeling blue like a crib. Framed for robbing a bank, letting loose from the hip. He really couldn't predict this grip was so full of angst. Him and Henry Woodpeckers did a song that dance at big. Oh, rodeo man in the West, you can. You're the best on the land. 2 plus the sands, stir the bull with your hand. Oh, Skip, you can. Get that fucking bull, pull on that rope. Feeling stir crazy, maintaining against the grain. Making me wanna get in a plane. The pain inside my brain never ends sustained. I'm down for the count on the ground freight train. Living today, don't give it away. They're preaching the praise, the raise. Shining it down to mightiest crowns, the finest of frowns delayed. Skippy's afraid, he feels betrayed. Live this way, can deal with shade. A spade is a spade, he made the grade displayed in a charade of pain. I am not a man, I am an animal, a male. I live by maritime, the law of water, about to sail. When my mother had me, I slipped out of her canal. What you call a sailing ship is named after